Howdy y'all, we're going to keep this short and sweet. This is a NXT step, next step performance X-pipe for C5 Corvettes. This fits any C5 generation Z06 or non-Z06. The H-pipe is pretty much the same for both cars, except for the non-Z06 cars have, I believe, a slightly different cat setup, but I'm not 100% sure. This is a bolt-on kit that comes with the X-pipe that's already pre-welded and everything with stainless steel. Comes with the clamps and everything, and new hardware and gaskets. This was about 300 bucks, give or take, on summitracing.com. It's a little bit cheaper than the West Coast Corvette version, but this is going to be more expensive than your kind of exhaust shop, bring your own X-pipe type deal, or have them install one for you. It's probably like 100 bucks for an X-pipe at a shop. If you bring your own, maybe a little bit less, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be a little more than what I'm quoting. It could be the 200 to 300 bucks, so this could be about the same price if you're going to somewhere expensive or you're not bringing your own parts. It's a pretty nice piece overall. It's chrome, or it's stainless steel that's been polished, so it's nice and pretty. It's pretty light. It probably weighs about 9 pounds, give or take. Supposedly this doesn't really give you much other than the sound change. I will go ahead and put it back to back of the stock exhaust sound and then with the X-pipe. This is supposed to clean up the exhaust sound quite a bit. Supposed to give it more of a higher pitch, more racy tone than the kind of old school Bodie, kind of like that guy. But this is actually a true dual truck, so it doesn't really matter. But it's supposed to get rid of that Bodie kind of a noise that these things make stock, kind of like Camaros do. And it gets rid of that shitty kind of small diameter, stock X-pipe setup on these things. So yeah, it's gonna hopefully be a pretty quick install. These are pretty nice mandrel bends. It is extended on the outskirts or on the outer rim of the inserts here to fit your stock exhaust. You just got to cut it down to make it fit. Should be pretty simple overall. This is a very easy-ish DIY project. I've already got my stock exhaust unbolted. I'm going to pull it out in just a few moments and put it all together so you can see the process. I'm also going to be using a cheap Harbor Freight exhaust cutter for now. If I need any help, I'll call a buddy. But worst case scenario, I drive it with open header. So what? I want to clarify that I live in California, so this thing has to be smog legal. It's got the stock exhaust manifolds, no tune. It's got a Veraram intake. That is pretty much it when it comes to power mods. Can't really do much. So this thing is going to be a pretty much bone stock comparison of the two. I hope to goodness it sounds good, so we'll see. Quick tip, if you're going to do this yourself, please use jack stands. Don't just do it on jacks. Also, once you get it all the way out, do those last two spring-loaded bolts last. And if you have a creeper, lay it on the creeper. Saves you a lot of time and hassle dragging the thing and scratching the shit out of it. But here we have it, the two pieces pretty much side by side. So those will hopefully to goodness line up. We'll see. We're gonna go ahead and hack it after we measure really quick right behind the O2 sensor bungs. It should slide right on. When you do end up cutting this, that shit's gonna fall because that is heavy. Those cats are heavy. So make sure you counterweight or align it as best you can to get it to line up. A little bit of lube will always help. We'll get to cutting in just a moment. Measuring from the tabs that are in the same exact spot because of the machining, and right there my line comes out to about 19 inches, which is good. And then my cut will line up on that big line about 19.5 inches. If you come back to this one over here, from the leftmost one, gonna be where the line is for the bend is about 19.5 inches, and then this guy on this side will be roughly 19 inches. Perfect. I'm done. Start cutting. Let me get my shoes out of the way. Because this is made to compensate for some overlap, please do not cut it here or here. You will have not enough pipe to reach the length of the exhaust. I pretty much laid it over as best I could, just for now, to line up the flanges as best I can. they're pretty darn close together right now. This one's a little bit further back, so I can compensate with that with my head. I'm gonna want to line up and measure kind of. You want to be right at the back of this guy. You can make a little, you can have a little bit of leeway. Worst case scenario, you can file a little bit or sand a little bit, but you want to be right about there, along that line right there with your cut, so you can be within this area for enough spacing to have good clamp, and not have any exhaust leaks. If you have some exhaust leak material, the little special gas, what's it called? Exhaust leak freaking cement, whatever it's called. You could probably put a little bit in there, but it might cause some issues. So try to make it work as best you can. But yeah, we'll start cutting in just a moment. It was a slight struggle, but that kind of worked. That's now in 2 pieces. That shit's out of here, and that's going on. Oh man. But that's how it should look when it's done. It's the last time I want to see this nice shiny piece before it gets all dirty underneath the car. And hopefully it sounds good the next 20 minutes or so. Alrighty, got it fully installed. This is the main thing I was worried about, is my muffler, my tailpipes still kind of line up. They're never perfect anyway, but you can kind of push it and adjust a little bit, but they're straight. I'll call that pretty straight. My end plate's also crooked, so that makes it look bad, but overall, oh yeah, let me just adjust that really quick to give you some perspective. Looks nice and straight to me, except for that guy. Anyway, there it is, installed front to back. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It didn't line up super good, but after a while, some finagling, it did line up. They come with new hardware and gaskets and everything. And I got everything installed, so let's start up and see how it sounds.